Greetings and welcome to StuntHangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching StuntHangar Video Hangouts. If you're watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered StuntHangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at StuntHangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of StuntHangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member or not logged into StuntHangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. If you're not a member, please register at stunthanger.com/SMF. That's stunthanger.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying, courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky. The proprietor of StuntHangar will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in, just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box, and I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. Now, understand, sometimes I can't get a word in myself, so be patient, as I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comment. By the way, you only can make your comments or questions known during a live stream. So like I said, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you find StuntHangar Video Hangouts that I host, or the many building videos, Saturday at John's, the contest coverage that Sparky does on this platform, informative and enjoyable, please hit the thumbs up, and subscribe. And when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell so that whether myself or Sparky's on, you'll be notified. Share the videos, comments, all these activities help the StuntHangar YouTube channel grow. Please consider joining StuntHangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And by the way, I'm a member. I have the $4.99 come out of my own checking account, and I don't miss it, and I suspect you won't either. You can also show your support using the super chat, which is right below the YouTube chat box over here. And it's like a big dollar sign, and you can donate any amount you like. And please do that, because we need your support. And your support helps offset some of the expenses of running StuntHangar. With your memberships, you'll get special stickers and badges that Sparky and I can see in the chat box, so we can see who our supporting patrons are. And now, by the way, this is Sparky's YouTube channel. I'm only in here twice a week. I just come in here on Monday and Friday nights. So if you want to get in touch with me, go to my YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. Let me repeat that. Flying Control Line Stunt. All the letters are there. And place your comment or question on the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which Sparky shot with his video camera of me flying his Junar XL. I will receive a notification and be able to respond to you quickly. I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family, room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things you wouldn't say or do around your own children or grandchildren. Without any further ado, I'm going to go to the StuntHangar YouTube channel, the StuntHangar Forum, and I'm going to post a link right now. So it's posted. And that's how you get in. If you want to come into the show, and you're more than welcome. You don't have to be an expert. Anybody is welcome, especially if you have an interest or if you actually fly model aviations or you like building, come on in. And The water's warm, and no one's gonna be mean to you or rude to you. You know, we're very congenial and cordial and courteous to one another. So please consider doing that. I would love to meet new and interesting people, or people who just have an interest in what we do. So now I'm going to go to the what I call the control panel. I see there's some people already there, but I'm going to go to the what I call the control panel first and see how it's flowing. Let's see here. Just give me a moment here. And let me do this also. All right. I hope everybody had a good weekend. I know we have a couple people that support or come in our show that are from Florida, and I hope I've reached out to some of them. I haven't been able to reach. I actually was able to talk to one person in Florida, and he was doing fine, but he appreciated the thought. And the other person, I've been trying. I can't reach them, so don't know what's going on with Peter, by the way. So let me see here. Just bear with me. We'll be off and rolling in just a moment. Let me get rid of this and get rid of that. Let's see here. Looks like someone's coming in. Let me get this here. Got it. Hey, Stuart, how you doing?
Good, Charles.
Great. Let me turn my volume up. And hey, Gary. Oh, Gary, your video's not on, Gary. I can see your name. There we go, Gary. How you doing?
Good.
Great. Fantastic.
Good. Pretty good.
Let me do a few more things here, and you have my complete attention here. Let's see here. Looks like Jack Snavely made his way into the chat box. And he says, hello, all around the world, just saying hi again with a globe and a couple airplane stickers. Thank you for coming in, Jack. Appreciate it very much. And then below him is Jeff Riley. He said, good evening, friends. Like sent. Thank you very much, Jeff. Hope you're doing well, as well as Jack. And then Gary Sinclair says, and he gave us a smiley face. And then Len Burrell says, like sent. Thank you, Len. That's great. Wonderful. And the Middlesex Modelers, he said, like sent. That's Al Fierro. So thank you very much. So we have right now 13 concurrent viewers, 9 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do that. That helps the analytics of the show. And that really does help. It helps our show become maybe a recommended view. When people go to their home feed on YouTube, they will see our show on the right side. So that's what my objective is with all the likes. Anyways, how's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
And Mark Gerber's coming in. He hasn't been in a couple of weeks or almost a month. And today's a new month. It's our first show of October. And let me see here. I have it on the calendar here. So last month was Al Fierro, and this month is Bob Hunt. And let me make myself big. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Good, Charles. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you very much. I'm going to show the calendar for October. This is Bob Hunt. Let me make myself big, which is something I don't do too often, but let's see here. Spotlight for everyone. Okay, so everybody see this? This is October, and that's Bob Hunt's airplane. What is this? This is the Wildfire Twin. It's Wildfire Twin. Isn't that beautiful?
Wow.
That is a pretty plane. I would love to see it in person. So if you want to get into the calendar, you need to forward a picture of you and your airplane, preferably. If not you and your airplane, maybe the airplane. And to Gary Sinclair, and he will probably put you in the next calendar. Hey, John Miller's in the house.
Hi, guys.
Hi, John.
Hi, John.
How y'all?
Doing well. Anybody do any flying or building or anything interesting in the shop?
See anything over there in that corner there?
Oh, look at that. Let me make you big. I have not seen that plane in a while. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yes, absolutely.
You notice though, it's missing the cowl. The cowl just got here today. So I'll finish that up tomorrow. And got to put some tip weight in it. And what else? Make up the lines. And
So the actual cowl that covers the engine was missing?
no, not the cowl for the engine. The I should say the canopy.
Yeah, the canopy and the cockpit are what's missing there.
Yeah.
All right. You got a new one?
Huh?
Did you get a new one or a replacement?
I've got a the one that Howard sent me.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. All right, cool. So just the canopy part you got, then you're gonna put it back on that part that covers the center section.
Yeah, and I came across some Dubro latches. They're very small, and but they claim they work great. And but they're you almost don't know they're there unless you look at them.
Wow, I'm not familiar with that part.
Yeah, Brodak's got them on, and that's where I got them from. But they look big in the Brodak ad, but they're only about less than an inch or about an inch long, and
Okay.
maybe quarter to 5/16 inches wide.
So they're Brodaks or are they Dubros?
Dubros,
They're Dubros. Okay, but Brodak has them. Okay.
but Brodak is handling them, yeah.
Very, very cool. Well, that's very, very cool. That's neat seeing it in blue because I'm looking at mine. Mine's in green.
Yeah,
Where yours is blue, mine's green. And I've been putting trim on the plane to kind of spice it up a little bit. On the underside, I have like invasion stripes that are purple. And on the rudder, I did a little bit of a treatment on the rudder too. I added some color to the rudder where the black is. I continued on with 3 different colors.
well, see where the black is here. I was going to extend that, and I was going to put my AMA number right there.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah,
And I was gonna make it like a marquee setup, so the back end would match the rake of the back, and the front would match the rake of that black. I got to find somebody that cuts vinyl, because I also want to put on the bottom of the wing. You remember the P-38 that said "Yippee"?
Well,
I'm
I
gonna
remember that.
I'm gonna put, how many remember this? You got to be older. Wowzer!
I remember the term, but I never seen the plane with that. That's I can't wait to see when you do that. That's gonna be great. Yeah, well, I thought about spicing mine up because Mike Lonke's Axioma looks pretty, and I just figured I need to do something to kind of bring it on par because it's only human nature when you see a pretty plane fly. If it's pretty to your eye, you might even give it a couple of extra points, right? It's just human nature. You shouldn't.
You're really taking this seriously, aren't you?
I'm looking for every little crumb I can get, man. I'm like, yeah. I know Mike's not playing. I got to do all I can.
You gonna put the wheel pants on?
I have not really even entertained that. Right now, my landing gear, I'm really concerned about getting the landing gear working better to land on asphalt. So that's really been more of my focus as far as landing gear. I would like to have the wheel pants on, but I lost a flying day today because I'm working on the color scheme. I don't have a whole lot of time to spare. So
I hear you. I see Jim Hornold's here, Dennis is here, Hoffman's here.
Welcome,
My
guys.
goodness.
Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it very much. Thank you very much, Dennis, for coming in, and Jim Hoffman's making his way in here, or maybe just has his avatar showing his USA 1 there. And then Jim, thank you, Jim, for coming in.
Hi, Charles.
Hey, how you
Hi,
doing?
everybody.
How you doing?
Doing okay, doing better. Had my other eye done couple days ago and starting to be able to see through it now. So
Oh, great.
yeah. So one of these days I'll have two eyes. The first one they did is still kind of blurry. That was 2 weeks ago. It's still kind of blurry, but the one they did the other day is coming in pretty good. So
That's good,
I'm
Jim.
doing all right. Doing all right.
Oh, I got a pizza in the oven. I'll be right back.
All right. It's the Red Baron, right?
Oh, yeah.
Gotta have aviation pizza in here. So anybody do any flying lately? Or anything interesting in the shop?
Well, we did
Ringmasters.
Ringmasters, all right, great. How many flights did you get up or did you log?
I think they logged.
I got 4 on Saturday morning,
Very good.
but their whole group down at the field. I don't know what the final count was. They flew Sunday as well.
Very good. And Jim Hoffman, you went flying or?
I did. I went
Fantastic.
flying on Sunday. I left the Ringmaster at home. Flew something a little more high tech.
Which is what, the Predator or?
I flew the Predator. Yeah, yeah.
Very, very nice. And how's that coming along? How's your trim and all that?
Oh yeah, that's it's fine. I put in the Igor active system
Oh,
earlier
nice.
this year, and so I was trying. I thought I have it working pretty well, but I tried some experiments on the some of the settings on the sensitivity, and I learned a few things, and it was a worthwhile day.
Oh, very good. Yeah, that's always exciting.
I learned that the sensitivity settings, the ones you like in dead air, are not the same as the ones you might like with a little bit of breeze, so maybe 5 to 7 knots. That was an interesting lesson to me. But
Very, very
I like the system. I like what it does.
What system is it?
It's the Igor Berger active
Okay.
electronic control system.
Yeah, I don't have that one, but the Fioretti's complicated enough.
It's interesting. It has some things that the castle creation stuff has some interesting things that Igor's system does not. You know, the castle creations has a log. You can go back and interrogate a lot of really interesting information. And the Igor system does not do that. The other unnerving thing is the castle creation / Huben system gives you a 5-second warning. Igor does not.
Yeah.
Now some have a light that comes on, right? Don't some have a light
That's
that
the
comes on?
Fioretti.
That's Howard.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So now do you using your stopwatch so you kind of have an idea when it's going to stop?
Oh, exactly. I have a stopwatch on my wrist, and when the motor starts to turn over, I push a button and I watch that, and I take a good look at it before the 4-leaf too. But it's kind of cool. If you do the pattern and you don't take any extra laps and so forth, you get maybe 4. I get about 4 or 5 laps after the clover, and that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah, because the longer you go, you're pounding the battery pretty hard.
Yeah. So when you get done, how much battery have you consumed, or what's left? Whatever is easier to answer.
Well, when you land and the battery's warm, it says 15%, but you bring it home and let it cool off for a half an hour, and it's about 30%. But neither of those measurements are very accurate. The thing you need to do is complete a flight and then recharge it to full. And then you can read the number of amp hours you've consumed. And that's the real measurement. And I do that now and again to make sure it's reasonable.
Very good. Very good. That's good. Yeah, I hope my next plane, I'm going to outfit it with the active timer. Because I've heard a lot of good things about it. I'm kind of leaning toward the superiority system. But just an active timer would be just an improvement, I think.
It's
The,
very
uh,
subtle
RF
what it does.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Jim.
I found it's very subtle. The settings that I seem to like aren't even audible. Took me a little bit, but you can feel them. But when I crank it up enough that it's audible, it's not where I'm happy. That I don't like it there. I like it a little more subtle for me.
Very cool. Let me welcome Gordon Delaney. Thank you for coming in, and Philip Bailey and Mark Wise. Appreciate it.
Hey, guys.
We lost somebody. I think, who did we lose? We lost somebody.
Jim. When you get up in the clover leaf with that,
Oh, no,
you
Jim
notice
Von
where it
Horn.
starts to lag.
Say it
Like
again,
the
Stuart?
I was gonna say when you're flying, Jim, when you get up to the clover leaf, do you notice where it starts to lose its power much, or is it pretty good?
Oh no, the electric system, you have 100% power the entire pattern.
Oh, really?
If you're losing power, you've got a real problem.
Okay, I didn't know if the batteries faded off more, like, you know what I mean? You start to
No.
notice.
No,
No.
these Dennis could speak to this better than I, but these LiPo batteries, you don't run them until the voltage is dropping beyond some threshold. You're always in the full throttle mode, basically.
Yeah, we use them in RC, but I just wondered how you were finding it in the pattern.
Well, I think the reason that we run, part of the reason that we fly batteries with, that something like a 70% or 75% of capacity and stuff like that is to avoid that situation at the end of the flight where, the battery just can't keep up anymore. And so, like Jim says, we're not, the game is to maintain all the power you need, from takeoff to landing. And, that's why the motors are only running around 70% of their rated wattage. And we're only using part of the battery because they're looking for the term you may have heard is called headroom. It's the ability of the governor and the ESC to advance the throttle enough to maintain the RPM even as the batteries wear down.
Oh, yeah. I think it
Yeah,
RC
welcome Keith
sometimes
Trossel in. Thank you, Keith, for coming in. I appreciate it.
Hey, Keith. Yeah.
How's the pizza?
Thumbs up. All right.
What?
One of these days he's going to bring enough for all of us. That's all.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's it.
So, Keith, did you do any flying? I asked earlier before you got in. Anybody do any flying this weekend?
I think
I don't know
he's
if you
still
can't,
coming
you
up
can't
to
hear us
speed.
or what. Mark,
Right.
can you attest for Keith? Did he go flying this weekend?
I don't think so. He told us he couldn't fly this weekend. He had something else going on.
It rained all Saturday here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Rained and blew here.
Yeah.
Mark, your name came up this weekend.
Uh-oh.
Mark Gerber.
Yeah.
All Gerber.
Nope.
Okay.
I was asked if you're going to join us in Las Vegas next month.
Yes, I'm planning to.
All right, good. Callentine got sucked into being an old-time stunt judge. He recalls you were his partner last year. Is that going to happen again, you think?
Well, I told them that I would do it again if they wanted me, but they haven't said anything. I expect I probably will. Usually they're short of judges.
Okay. Great.
I volunteer to judge expert.
Who is that?
Gordon.
Oh, Gordon, you're going to go to the Las Vegas Stunt Challenge? Gordon, you going to be there?
If they need a judge, I'll be glad to judge expert.
Oh, fantastic. That's great. Yeah, that's
Oh,
great.
that's fabulous, Gordon.
So I got to get a hold of him and find out if Steve needs it.
Yeah. Or just if you can catch up with, Ruben might be easier to catch up with because Stephen works long hours, but Ruben is available usually.
Ruben's a good emailer.
Yeah, that's true too. I've gotten emails from him. And Jim Warnhorn's back. Thank you very much for coming back. I looked up and he was gone. And I was like, what happened?
My battery died.
Okay, that'll do it.
Yeah,
And
so I had to change locations to where the charger is.
Very cool. Well, let me
Yeah.
welcome James McKinney. Thank you, James, for coming in. Appreciate it. So now we're up to, let's see here. Mondays are getting to be some pretty good shows. We have 13 people inside here already. And in the chat box, we have Philip Bailey. He gave us a like. Thank you very much. See you soon. And then Greg Biswick. He's one of our monitors out there. He said, hello, Charles. Can you ask if anybody knows when and where?
Is rock solid and will definitely stand.
Be some pretty good shows. We have 13. I think we have an extra tab open. We have Philip Bailey gave us a like. Thank you very much. See you, Jim or Greg Biswick.
Yeah, I wonder if it's me. Let me turn mine off.
He said, you gotta close that extra loop, most likely, Jim. Anyways, I was gonna go on here with Greg Biswick's question. Ask if anyone knows when and where the next World Championships are, or has it not been announced yet? I know Howard leaving the World Championship, he had mentioned a couple of countries that were mentioned, but nothing solid.
When I talked to Tran, that's all he said. He said they mentioned a couple, but they had not announced, to his knowledge, they had not announced.
One of those is Spain.
Yeah, they've not announced a definite yet.
Well, it's the best we can do, Craig. And long time no see, Craig. So let me see here. So anybody else? Oh, and Carl Reed. Hey, Carl, welcome. Thank you for coming in. And so I'm trying to go around. Who else has flown or worked in the shop this weekend? Dennis Adamson, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I tried my first flights with a active timer this morning, and the system absolutely did not work. So frustration was the other F word that came to mind. And later on, I dragged out my SV11 that I haven't flown since last fall. And in spirit, in support of you, Charles, in spirit. Now, when I flew it last year, if you go back to the original post I made in the Adventures in Spectra thread, the SV11 was the airplane that really, sold me on it. One thing I mentioned there is I had to reconfigure the airplane because I couldn't get enough tip weight out of it. Well, this is the first time I've been able to take it out, and sure enough, I was able to take 1 more quarter ounce out of it. So as comparison to flying with the stainless steel 018 cables, I have taken 1 full ounce out of the wingtip. So
very good.
How much is still in it, Dennis?
Yeah. So
how much is still in it, Dennis? Because I'm gonna start mine on the Spectrum.
I still have 1/2 ounce.
Okay.
And I think it's still maybe just a hair too much, but it's really subtle. So
you fly
Yeah,
on
I'm down to
65?
7/10 of an ounce on my SV11 with the Spectra lines. I took a good ounce out as well.
Yeah.
So you're flying on the 65-pound Spectra?
Actually, this is still the original setup with the 100-pound,
100-pound, okay.
Original Power Pro, not even a Max Quattro.
Well,
So I have the 80-pound waiting in the wings here, and I'm going to be putting that on probably the next time or two I take it out. But right now that's my only use for those lines, and I don't fly the airplane that often anyway. So maybe I'll just leave it alone. But
all right, one dumb question: what motor do you have in that one?
It was the prototype for the Brodak SV11R. So I have the
Yeah.
Brodak 3520.
3520.
The Brodak ESC, the Brodak 3500 battery, and the Huben timer made to Brodak specs. Basically, I spec the motor, the ESC, the timer, and the battery on that, and I designed the nose on it. So it's about as
Yeah.
much of that airplane I could get for, in an ARF, and considering, of course, that Randy's only sold about 10,000 of them, but
Yeah.
that are not electric. So
Well, that's one of the better flying. I think that's one of the better flying Yukis out there.
it's not bad. It's not.
it's-
It keeps surprising me. It's a good flying airplane.
It is
So
that.
I didn't think I'd like it originally because I just don't usually like big airplanes or anything like that. But it's good. It doesn't really have any bad habits or anything like that.
Yeah.
I wish it had a little more of this and a little less of that, but that's just goes with the territory. So
Well, every one I build, I think I wish it had a little more of this or a little less of that, but
exactly, that's why we keep building new ones, right?
that's it. That's it.
So
I just I built one now that looks like an SV11, and one that's an ARF, and one that doesn't look like an SV11. It looks like a Cavalier, and I have another one that I didn't build that it came into my possession that does not look like an SV11, but doesn't look like a Cavalier either. But it's the only one I have left that's fuel. And I'm telling you, all the SVs seem to work. That wing is just really good at locking coming out of a maneuver.
Mhm.
But I don't know. It's something about that airplane. I resisted it for a long, long time, but it is a good plane. I can't knock it at all. I'm not gonna say it's the end all, because I don't believe it is. But
you're gonna do
Randy will
a
tell you he's got
lot
the
worse, baby.
oh
You're
yeah,
gonna do a lot worse. So,
Randy will tell you right quick. He's told me several times he's got the best airplanes on earth. Not my saying, I'm quoting. But I'm not gonna say they're the best on earth, because there's a lot of them I have not flown. I've never flown a Max B, an electric Max B. I have a fuel Max B, but it's not the same airplane.
yeah.
But that SV is just not a bad plane.
Well, I don't know.
But
Talking about who has the best airplane is about the same as asking who has the best looking grandkids.
Oh God.
Yeah. You know exactly where I'm coming at. Yeah, Carl,
Yeah.
I think hooked up on that one.
Yeah. I tell you what, I don't know who the grandfather is, but there was a girl on the internet today that if she's real.
Yeah.
Let me welcome Mike Lonke. Thanks, Mike, for coming in.
Good to see you, Michael. Oh my goodness.
Say Monday, and we have 15 in the house. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
But for those of you who didn't see it earlier, I'm going to show it again. This month being October, we have a new calendar and we spot like this here. This is Bob Hunt's.
All right.
What's it called again? It's the Wildfire Twin.
Wildfire Twin. That thing is pretty.
So anybody who wants to get into the next year's calendar, just email Gary Sinclair. He does some magic, I tell you.
If I ever finish something, I'll send him some pictures. I can't seem to get anything finished.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to paint today, and the wind's been blowing all day.
Yeah.
And if you have
All
a
day.
plane in the nude, I think it'll be okay. Or even if it's in
Yeah.
tissue. If it's dope in tissue, that'd be fine.
Well, I tell you.
I don't think Gary would be upset if any nude pictures of nude airplanes, right, Gary?
Yeah.
That's it.
I'll send him some pictures if I ever get something finished.
Unfortunately, most of my last finish efforts should only be seen on radio. So,
Mm.
I have a comment from Tom Ramel. He says, like provided. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that.
Well, Charles, I've been I've been working on a plane I don't think any of you guys have ever heard of. It's called a SV-11.
Oh, really?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Here we go.
A friend of mine gave me the old style Brodak SV-11 set up for blow, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd had it for years. And I don't know what made me do it, but I opened the box, and it was just about that time that Will Davis and I decided to camp together at Triple Tree, starting Wednesday through Saturday. And I said, I'm bringing 2 planes. He said, what are you bringing? I said, well, I have a Pathfinder that I'm probably 5 years old that I built, Brodak kit. It's a nice airplane, electric. And I also have an electricized Billy Werwich P-47 that he built. And he gave it to Bob, and well, he loaned it to Bob. Bob took the gas out and put electric in, and Billy flew it, and it just wasn't, Billy is a glow guy. So I have the airplane. I'm going to bring that down to Triple Tree. And then I said, I've been thinking about working on this SV-11. So he said, well, if you can get some of the components done, we'll finish it down there. He's bringing his RV, and we're bringing everything we need. So I've kind of been on a crash course, converting this thing over to electric. And it's also the first time I've flown electric with a rear mounted motor. I've always used Bob Hunt's G10 mounts, but it didn't work on this. There's nothing at the front end of this airplane to attach the motor mount to. So I also had to make sure I understood how to move the shaft in a 3515 Cobra motor, because I've done it before. This one had a little bit of a little intricacy to it, but I got it done. So I'll probably be up pretty late tonight. The wing is done. Horizontal stab is done. They're all hinged. It's looking pretty good. So
Make sure you get them.
if I'm not rebuilding it on Friday, I'll get back on here and I'll let you know how it went. But it'll be good to be down there, and I'm going to talk to Mr. Hartness, the boss, and ask him about hosting a bigger stunt event, not during all week, which I think he will. And that might be an Eastern Pampa Championship.
Oh, very cool.
The other thing, and I can't get into all the details tonight, but from 7 to 9, John Paris and I were on a call with AMA with all the SIG groups about the 2023 Nats. And because of world championships and jamborees and all kinds of things, they asked me if I would cut a day off the schedule and end the event on Friday instead of Saturday, which I fairly quickly sent a note back and said I'd rather not do that. We lost a day last year to weather. We're trying to figure out how to have a 7-day week, lose a day, and still get everything. And now you're asking me to cut another day. And I thought that's my only input that was going to be on the call tonight. But then a curveball was thrown. It seems like one of the SIGs would like to change the calendar that AMA came out with, which I thought was pretty reasonable. And it ended up being that they're asking me if we'd be interested in flying the last week of June rather than the second week of July.
Absolutely.
And I said,
No.
that is a big problem, and I can't agree with that. They said, well, if you think about it, I said, well, I'll think about it, but I got 3 reasons right now. I didn't say this on the call, and I spoke to John. I spoke to John Paris as soon as the call was over. He felt exactly the same as I did. Number one, I don't want to go back to June and get all the wind that we had 2 years ago. Secondly, it absolutely smacks Brodak. There's no way people are going to go to Brodak and 10 days later go to the Nats. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, but some of us that have to drive 1,300 miles like to do it just once instead of twice, and that would be nice.
Yeah, if you don't mind having 10 days between them.
Well, I got relatives and stuff to visit, and
Well, I have a few other members in Pampa I need to consider, Mark. So I'm going to send a note out to all the district guys tonight if I can stay up and get their feelings about it. I like the week we had. It's the second week of July. We're used to it. We're also going to have a banquet this year and invite the guys who got this thing going 50 years ago. So I'll let you know what happens, but I'm counting on the second week of July.
Go ahead, Jim Hoffman.
Hey, Mark.
Mark, you might speak
hang
to
on,
Alan. You might speak to Alan Goff.
He was on the call,
Okay.
and he was supportive of what I thought.
Enough said.
Yep. Thank you.
Go ahead, Dennis.
I was just gonna say, if you want to do, if you know, it's instead of June counter, hey, we'd rather see August instead of June, only because the weather continues to get better and
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
and you know, more stable, more likely that we're not going to have any weather related issues. So
Right. Right.
Mark, is this just for Pampa or for all control line events?
All control line.
Yeah, don't move it to August.
Mhm.
That's and don't give up July. That's my 2 cents.
Mhm.
What's that, Gordon? Keep it in July?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know this,
The rationale.
and it probably is an infinitesimal percentage of the people that go to the Nats, but you get into August, you're going to kill all the juniors and seniors, not only in Pampa, but in all the other events that they fly, because they're back in, a lot of kids are back in school in August. And I know that doesn't mean anything to most stunt flyers, but it certainly means something to some of us.
Yeah, that's for real too.
So
Question: next year is a team selection year too, correct?
it's a
It
what?
is.
It is.
Team selections and any dates, anything kicked around there. I guess I'm presuming we might have something Labor Day or so, as we have in the past. That might affect some of this conversation too.
That's up to the FAI committee.
And they have, as a host, has anybody stepped up to host it or anything like that?
Up to the FAI committee to get something organized and alternatives.
Yeah, I was looking at the names on the FAI committee, and at least 3 people on the list, I believe, were dead. And so the committee doesn't look like they've been keeping it up real good. So that's another problem that, ironically enough, is not a Pampa problem. But I don't know.
Well, Dennis, I'd spoken to Randy about it because Randy comes to Triple Tree in May every year.
Yeah, he would be ground zero on that. So
Yeah, and he's been encouraging me always to put in a bid for Triple Tree. It's not essentially located as it probably should be. So I won't see him this week. I don't think he'll be there. It's usually where, around the Houston area.
I was there a couple of times, and
Yeah.
they actually lobbied to move it back into October because that's when they said their best weather was, and it worked once, and it didn't work the second time.
Yeah.
And ironically enough, when they did that, they wiped out all the junior participation. There was no junior team member because they had to get out of school in the middle of
Sure.
October.
Sure.
And so that was darned unfortunate too. But
Well,
Can I add something to the team trials conversation, just to throw this in the mix? It's not stunt related, but Combat is planning on having their team trials at Muncie on the 8th and 9th.
yes, I know that.
So that's going to push all our events back basically a couple of days. And, talking about losing one day on the end, Saturday, as it's been proposed right now by Dave Edwards, what he wants to do, team trials on Saturday, Sunday, Then the Nats, triple elimination Nats F2D, Monday, Tuesday, F2D Fast Wednesday. That leaves Thursday, Friday, Saturday to get speed limit, half A, and fast done. We would be using the entire week, Saturday to Saturday, to get all the combat events in for control line. But again, that's just what they're proposing. Nothing's set in stone yet, but that's what they have done for several years now, is they hold the team trials at the Nats for the 2 days prior to the kickoff of the Nats. So that's where they're going with that. It would suck if we lose a day at the end, if we give up that Saturday, if they take that away from all the control line events, because then that would mean we would have to compress, probably either lose one event or fly 2 events in 1 day.
Yeah.
Well, I have his email right here for the 6th through the 19th trials, the 10th to the 14th for the events. And if we had to drop one, it would be half A. Those participation in half A is pretty low. So that would be the one that would drop.
Yeah.
But I know he requested, even if they do move it, to proceed with Nats with the team trials regardless of when they have the event. But hopefully they keep it July as where it is. I don't know. Dave was involved in this. I just got the email from him saying when he sent his request.
Yeah, it looks like the start of the Nats continues to be control line scale and RC scale. That seems to be about 3 days. And then we follow with the rest of the events. So the control line window looks like it's about 10 days. So, but I'll let you know as I know more. I have a meeting, call with Chad tomorrow. I'm going to bounce a couple of things off him and see what happens.
Well, I think this is really, really nitpicking and everything like that, but I don't think the control line scale event is scheduled with control line. It's scheduled with the scale events.
With the RC
All right.
scale.
The RC scale.
Yeah. But I guess the point I'm making is that they don't even count them as control line events per se. They're not there because of control line week. They're there because of scale. All right.
Well, and are they really in the way of anybody when they're there?
Well, they're not, but but if control line, if the rest of us weren't there at all, they would still fly control line scale that weekend in concert with all the other scale events. I guess that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So if they're talking about 10 days of control line, that's not strictly accurate, so.
Go ahead, Keith. Keith Trotzel.
Yeah, just as a point of reference, and I'm not trying to start any kind of an argument. In years past, it's been suggested that we select a team based on the national rankings at the nationals. And then we could have our junior representatives selected at the same time. That's generally been rejected, I think, by the Pampa membership in years past. This goes back a number of years, I think, Mark. But the rejection is, and I don't think it's a good argument, is that because of the K factor scoring by the judges, you sometimes might end up with a different team. To me, the best flyers, regardless of the K factor FAI scoring or the AMA scoring, you're still going to have the top pilots come out at the top. And so it's all, I think, an option that we could just select a team based on the national positions. But
well, Keith, you got a good point, and I don't have a dog in this hunt in stunt as far as a junior, but what would the problem be? Just say you're going to pick the junior. I mean, forget about the rest of the team. You can still have a team trials for, the top 5 guys, top 10 guys that want to do it. But really, you get the best juniors at the Nats. Just tell all the juniors, anyone who's going to vie for the team, and whoever wins, as a junior, top scorer, junior, senior gets to be the junior team member.
I think there's a problem there might be with the age classification. What we have, junior, senior, and open, there's just junior and open guys in FAI, or junior and senior levels. And I think the age cutoff for the junior is different than what it is in AMA. That's
it's 21 now. That's right. you could have technically, I guess, a 20-year-old want to be a junior team member. Because it's 21 for FAI now.
I'd have to go look and see what the age is for the FAIs, but it's different than AMA.
It
But I
was a
mean,
good idea, Mike, but it.
You got, there's probably, well, we know there's probably 3 juniors that are going to try out for the team. There really aren't any more in the country. And they show up to the Nats every time. Let the top guy be the junior winner, man, and send them. You know, keep them from having to take 4 days off during the school year to go to wherever to qualify, you know?
Oh, Mike,
Same guys that contend for the team will be the same guys that contend for the top positions at the Nats. So, unless if we can get around some people's thoughts that because the FAI scoring is different, we might have a different ranking and different teams, a different selection. I don't think it makes that much difference. You're still going to have the top guys being on top, regardless of the scoring system.
Yeah. Well, at
Hang on one
that
second, you guys.
level,
Hang on, everybody. Gordon, you trying to get my attention, Gordon? What's going on?
Oh, I was waving to John Miller there.
Oh,
wait back.
okay.
Sorry.
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, you guys.
well, I'll tell you, I was thinking of considering the age of our membership, that juniors should be up to age 50 and senior to
Darn, I'm still-
65, and then anyone over there is open. So
That's funny. That's funny.
What having it as Nats simplifies the logistics of the whole thing because of recruiting judges, and as far as having potential team members going to all over the country within months of each other. I think doing the Nats makes a lot of sense, but that's something I think between the team selection committee and Tampa leadership to see where that one might go.
I agree with you, Keith. I think, or at least, is there a way they can hold the team trials at Muncie during Nats week? I mean, you got the site from Saturday and your official events don't start till Wednesday, right?
right.
I mean, and everybody's there. And how many are you really going to have for a team trial? You're going to have 3 or 4 juniors, maybe.
And we typically
Tops.
have 18 to 24 team trials.
Oh, you're going to have that many. There's 18 to 24 that go to a team trial. I didn't know there was that many stunt guys that tried out. That'd be a little bit different.
24 might be the high number right now, but there will be 16, 18.
Okay, that's a bunch. I thought it was more like 7 or 8 that would try out.
No.
So
There's a lot of guys knowing they won't make the team, but they want to go fly just to see how they stack up.
I got you.
How long does it take to generally do that team trials? Is that 2-day thing?
What's that?
Stunt team trials. Is it usually a 2-day thing or is it longer than that?
2 days, yeah.
Yeah. That's what we do. We do it before the Nats, Saturday and Sunday. We just add 2 days. People come in early and they stay for the Nats.
Yeah.
I don't know how the stunt guys feel about that kind of stuff. It's hard to get combat flyers in one place at one time these days, it seems like.
Yeah.
So if you get them all to show up in one place, then you got your best turnout.
Well, there's 2 options: run a separate event for the team selection, or as I don't think I'm putting words in Keith's mouth. If we chose our national champion, used our national championship to also serve as the selection for the team members, I think we could get there from here. I don't know.
Like I said, it's been considered in the past. This goes back a number of years. But normally that idea was rejected for whatever reason. Personally, on the organization side of it, I thought it was a good idea. And I think Mark.
Yeah, I think it's maybe time we reconsider it. We always
because it's hard to get the quality judges you want and need. Both places within several months of each other.
Yeah.
Well, sure. Even if they didn't want to, even if they didn't want to. Even if they wanted to have 2 separate competitions, you could do it in the same week. You just have to add those days at the beginning. And people have to be able to come in on that weekend. I mean, at least that's what we came up with in combat.
And we run into the problem where some of the top competitors in the past complain that the nationals are too long and it's too much work. I mean,
Yeah, well, you can't please everybody all the time.
and the nationals are set up so that everybody can compete, so that they can go and experience the Nats or have the Nats experience. And that's important to 3/4 of the people that go. And
Oh, sure. But you got people that, well, I don't know. I don't speak to stunt, but the people that are going to spend the money and the time and the effort to go travel across the world to fly are a separate group of people than the people that are flying at the nationals. At least, well, I guess in combat that's kind of wrong because everybody wants their shot. Most people, they're just the expense of going across the world is not. It's just too much. But some of them don't even fly the team. They'll just come and watch. But I don't know about stunt. I don't know if everybody if everybody that was at the nationals would necessarily compete at a team trials. Maybe I don't know if everybody would be willing to make that. It's a big expense and an effort to go across the world.
I believe, well, when I was the event director here a few years ago, I discovered that the stunt group was the last group at the nationals in any event in any of the RC free flight. We were the only event left that was running age groups separate competitions. All right. In other words, I ran a couple of sailplane events, and we always had a high point junior and a high point senior, but they were just basically competitors mix, in the overall mix. And in combat, do you guys do anything like that?
No, the juniors will fly with us with the seniors, open people. Everybody flies together. If there's and then the top junior finisher, if there has to be a fly off, there'll be a fly off. If their records are the same and you can't determine the winner, they'll fly them off.
So you basically have a high point junior, high point senior kind of thing.
That's
Okay.
it.
There's no scene. Oh, yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And you guys, John Miller, he'd like to get into the conversation.
Well, I just wanted to say that in light of, I would think that what Keith is proposing would work. I think, though, that there should be perhaps when you sign up to compete, you could check a box saying, I don't want to be considered for the team, or I do want to be considered, whatever, so that those that right going in who's going to be willing to go should they win.
And Mark, I have to apologize. I don't mean to be crossing any lines here, because this can get to be very sensitive. I think, John, you have a good point. A lot of things like that would have to be worked out if we start combining the team trials with the Nats. And again, Mark, I apologize if I'm crossing a line here.
Not at all. Not at all.
Just throwing out some ideas. A lot of these ideas have come up before, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work.
Exactly.
My thinking was, if you have the site Saturday and Sunday, or Sunday and Monday, because really, what do you do? Appearance judging, and then you have a practice day before, but everybody's there Sunday. You run your team trials Sunday and Monday. You got everybody there, because the real Nats doesn't start till Wednesday, does it?
That's correct.
You have the time. You have the site. The site is there. You just have to add 2 days to your schedule and, have judges there to run a team trial. Exactly like combat.
That's an issue too. The judges, you're asking them to do a lot of hard work on many, many days.
And you know what? The combat guys do it. They get the judges out there.
We pay them though. We give them money.
Yeah. But I mean, you're saying it's hard to do, it'd be hard to get the guys to do it. And then directly in dichotomy to that, you've got another group that's doing the exact same thing. They're picking their team trial at Muncie. They found a way to get the logistics done and make it happen, because that's where the concentration of your top flyers are going to be. So give them the opportunity to not have to travel again a month or 2 or 3 months later to attend a team trial.
But our intention, the reason we did that was only because our Nats participation was about 3 entries per event until we moved to team trials. Now we get, 12 or 13 or 14 or that's why we did it. We didn't do it because everybody wanted to be in one place. We did it because we wanted everybody to come to the Nats and let AMA know that we still actually fly combat. Because for a while they didn't think we even did it. They were like, "Do you want us to buy trophies?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it worked, and combat's booming at the Nats. We get pretty good numbers there.
Yep.
Let me interrupt for a second. Let me say hi to Lynn Burrell. Thank you for coming in, Lynn. Appreciate it.
Hey, Lynn.
Hey, guys.
And,
Hey, Lynn.
I have a couple of comments in the chat box. Jonathan Carrata says, Kia ora, guys from Kiwi land. Hope you're all dry and safe. And then Greg Biswick, he asks, you have a separate selection for the Worlds than the Nationals? ? Does that mean the national champion may not represent?
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, look, you go. That's right. The guys who've been there many times, like Dave Fitzgerald, Paul, and others, those are the guys that can win the Nats. And I'd be shocked if they would decide to go back to the Worlds, unless it was here. Remember, the World team is not necessarily the top guys that finish at the Nats. It's the top guys who want to go to the Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I was leading to. Like, you got to have, you got to want to go there. It's a big expense. It's a lot of work to travel. I don't even know how you get stunt planes across the world. I mean, I guess you take them apart nowadays, but that's just a lot of, you got to want to do that,
It's a lot of money too.
You're right. As I say, it's a big expense.
Exactly.
I mean, it just is. It is what it is. Some people can't afford it. Some people just don't want it. Like, especially if you're working, if you're still working, you got extra vacation time you got to find, and it's a lot of effort.
We've been trying since probably 2004 to get it back here, and the problem is these people on the FAI committee that run it. They'll tell you anything you want to hear until right before the event. And one of the things that we will not agree to, they want to run the whole thing on 2 circles. And we want to give the judges time to relax and rest and not have it on 2 circles. And they just won't agree to that. So the guys on on that committee, we're not interested in appealing back to the FAI. That they're just so stubborn about this point. We would probably have the best facility in the world in Muncie.
There's no doubt about that. I would bet there's no place that really compares.
But their rules and regulations are theirs. And it's a shame.
All right.
And the FAI abuse those rules with the judges because they have a standing rule that says judges aren't supposed to judge more than 50 flights a day. When it comes to the finals and the fly-offs, they exceed that number a lot.
Yeah.
Open for protest if anybody'd ever have the nerve to go ahead and protest it.
Yep. And not only that, a lot of the sites are horrible. If you look at what the guys were flying on this year, oh my gosh.
Puts cow pastures put these things.
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. So
if you're mean to the cows.
Yeah.
Well, Keith, what do you think it would take to try to get to a combined event or propose a single site event or single week event or something like that? Is that something
Maybe
that
to get the
gets
combat or the FAI team selection committee talking and working with Pampa leadership, something that might be worked out.
so Pampa would have to say, yes, we're willing to do this. And then the FAI committee would be the ones ultimately say, okay, we'll accept that, or no, we don't want to do that. Right?
Well, that have to be working in concert, I would think, somehow.
Yeah.
In our case, yes, you had to get the committee represents each district, and you have to have whoever's flying in that district tell that committee member, hey, this is what we want. And that committee member is supposed to represent thoughts and feelings of that district. That's the way it's supposed to be. But the thing is, I don't even know who the committee members are anymore. I don't even know. I don't even know. And are they the same for each? Is there just an FAI committee member that represents all disciplines, or does Stunt
No,
have its own
no.
FAI committee
There's an
member?
FAI stunt committee.
Yeah. So
think
I
it's
know
per
the combat
event.
committee is basically nobody that flies combat. Maybe one guy. But that was a big deal at first because we had some resistance because some guys were like, no, we want to have it move around because we can't go to Muncie, but we overcame that. So yeah, you would have to, at least that's the way it worked for us. The district people, whoever flies in that district would have to lean on the FAI committee member that represents that district and say, hey, this is what we want.
Well, I think it should be a viable alternative to at least look at right now. That's all.
I do too. I'll tell you, for a lot of people, it would save a lot of money and a lot of travel. They go to the Nats anyway.
Well, and you
Exactly.
add a couple more days to the competition at the Nats, and it just makes it more important. Those days more important, and we like it for us. It's big. That's a big time of year for us.
Well, and for the fact that I think we have some of the top flyers that aren't interested in going back to the World Championships, and then go ahead and have a statement, sign a statement at the beginning that if they would come out point wise to make the team, that they will not be a team member. See how that goes. I don't know. That might open it up. More people might want to come to Nats because they see an opportunity. Hey, there's a shot here. So
yes,
I'm gonna go to bed.
Good stuff.
People that think that way don't understand the realities of what it takes to be a team member and the commitment it takes.
That's right.
I don't understand the opposition. I don't get why.
Well, it used to be, I don't know what it is now. We haven't, I don't think those waters have been tested for.
I mean, it would seem to streamline the operation for you guys in stunt.
Well, there was opposition, I don't know, 15 years ago, maybe more. And that hasn't even been brought up, I don't think, in the recent past, because previous Pampa leadership didn't take a stand one way or weren't a visit. They didn't do anything about it. Let's put it that way. And Mark, I'm not casting stones at you at all.
No, I know.
Yeah, it's just that in the past, Pampa leadership sort of let the team trials go ahead and do its thing by what the FAI committee was doing. It wasn't.
Well, Keith, if there was ever going to be a good year to do it, it would be next year with the 50th of Tampa and the 100th of Nats.
Yeah.
It would be a very nice gesture.
And I think you have other people on your executive board, Mark, that would probably be more than willing to entertain that. Just and Randy is the one that's active on that, and I'm on that committee too, but there hasn't been any action in that committee since the last team trials, and gee, that was what, 3 years ago. So
yeah, I will. I'll stir it up. I'll see what we can do. I don't know. I think it's a great idea, personally.
I think it's worth exploring. That's for sure.
So do I.
too. I think it'd be fun to.
I think most of us old curmudgeons from 20 years or so ago are no longer around. So there's just a few of us.
Yep. Hey, Keith, has a Pampa president ever been impeached?
Are you volunteering?
There was an attempt to impeach one. I won't go into details. I can talk to you about it later, Mark. And this was
I
serious.
know who you're talking about.
This was serious. I mean, it really was. And it was breaking Pampa apart at that time.
It really was. A lot of people got out of Pampa at that time because of it.
It was all related to that.
I'll try not to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know, Mark, you're a trailblazer in a lot of ways, but leave that trail alone. All right.
Well, leave that alone.
That part of the membership is no longer a viable threat. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give it a shot, and To me, it makes a lot of sense. It's the right time to do it. And I'll find out from others, but I'll bounce this off the people who, well, I think David is on that committee, isn't he, Keith?
The team trials, I think
Yes.
so.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he is. He's got a pretty level head about him.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody do anything
David is
interesting
very
in their
level-headed.
shop or done any flying?
I bought a stunt plane.
Question.
You bought a stunt plane, Jim?
Yeah, I bought a kit. I got one of those Vector 40 electric Brodeck ARFs
Ah,
in the shop right now. The only problem is they sent it to me without the instructions. So I didn't want to wing it. And I never messed with electric, so I have no idea what to do with anything electric. So I got to figure it out. But I've been flying so much, really, I haven't time. I got 4 days off and together, hopefully this week. And I bought some of Dennis's Spectra lines.
Oh,
I'm gonna put
good.
some Spectra.
Just be sure and test the line. Test the line before you use it.
Yeah.
By the way, on the electric Vector is the only one of the ARFs that has an instruction manual because I wrote it. If you didn't get it, talk to your friends at Brodac. They should.
Oh
be
yeah, I
able to
did. They're
get you
sending me one. I called them.
Yeah.
They're sending it to. But
Okay.
do you put eyelets on those Spectra lines, or do you just?
I did not. You tied them. My own. I tie them just the way you guys have been tying them in combat. The modified surgeon's knot that Bill Cartier.
Yeah, I've seen he's got a little.
Yeah. Okay. Now
that
the
the
one
figure
thing
eight
I
knot?
do is I take that knot and then I've been adding welded steel rings in at the end. I think it makes it a little easier to change out clips for hard point handles and stuff like that. And then also the welded rings are slightly larger in diameter than the lines. And so they're a little less prone for the lines to get between the ends of a scissor style clip or something like that.
Yeah, I bought Power Pro 65 500W Spectra White.
All right.
Is that right?
That should be great.
That's what I got. We'll see. I just got to figure out how this electric works. What I did was I called them and I said, look, I don't know anything about anything. I want the kit. I want the motor. I want everything that you listed, even the glue. Send me the glue too, everything. So they sent me everything. It was about $500.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that plane just by the book, and you got the one that's got the pot potentiometer on the outside of it, the system that Dennis designed, and just go by the book, you'll have a great flying airplane.
I'm hoping.
I have that plane, and I love it. That's a neat airplane.
It's sitting there. I figured it would be a good way to break in without investing too much time building something.
It builds quick. It builds quick and easy, and it works.
It looked pretty nice. Feels light.
Yeah.
Yeah, they usually end up in the mid 40 ounce range, which isn't bad. So I think you'll like it.
John or Dennis, what size are those rings? You get the tackle shop, right?
Yeah, I got mine actually from Amazon.
What are
I
they
can
called?
give you the name and the number. I got two different sizes. I got these little teeny ones. They're just a little bit bigger than a regular line clip.
Hold up the label, John. We can see it.
Turn up the label.
What's the inside diameter of that?
It's all on there.
I'm sorry, hang on. Let me make you big. There we go,
Back
John.
it up just a little bit, John.
More.
A little bit more.
There you go.
Sorry about moving. I can't hold it straight. Those are a little bit smaller than a little bit, almost the same size as a line clip. And then I got these other ones. They're a little bit bigger. And
Is there a size marking on that?
there is. Let me get it up here. And they weren't all that expensive.
All right. Be careful with those, John. Those are the ones that look like washers, right?
Yeah.
No, these are round.
Yeah, I know, but they're flat plates that have been edged, right?
Keith, I'll send you a link to the ones I bought.
Okay, that's
On
good.
I
Amazon.
don't think so. I think they're,
That's the ones to get, the Spros. Those are round.
I think these are round, wire welded.
Yeah, those are the good ones, John. SPRO.
Size
Yeah.
3.5.
Those are nice.
It says size 3.5. I'm not exactly sure what that is. It might act, I don't think it's 3.5 millimeters, but it's pretty close. It's about a 5/32 ID.
I think I bought the
line clip,
fours.
room for, of course, room for to tie the lines, and there's plenty of room for a line clip.
Yeah.
I've got
think
some
that's-
that
I think
are
that's the
number
one I've
3
got.
size. They're adequate. I got some number 4s. They're adequate. I thought but these here were, the 3.5s were obviously between those two, and I thought I liked them the best. Plus, if you can see that, it's a 266-pound test on on that ring.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
So that's not going to distort
What
or
it is?
anything like that. So
Yeah, these that I have, they're made in China.
I don't think that's too unusual anymore.
Yeah, but there's 50 pieces in here. And these are what is it?
There you go.
They don't say much more about them. They are kind of flat-sided, yeah.
Yeah, I got some like that, and I was a little concerned that the corner radius wasn't as big as it could be. That's all.
Yeah, I would like to have it more round wire.
Yeah.
John, those Spros that he's got are perfectly round. It looks like he's taken just piano wire and made a loop out of it and welded it. And we tried our darndest to break one of those, and it'll hold my weight.
Where are you getting those from?
There's a store called Tackle Direct.
Tackle Direct, okay.
I will send you some links and stuff like that. Jim Hoffman, you got the same things, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I
okay.
got.
And Phil, okay.
Yeah, Dennis sent me the link a while back, and I got them, and they work great. I mean, I tried to break one and couldn't. So
Well,
it'll hold my big gut up.
Until I just looked at them, I didn't realize that they looked like they were a little bit on the flat side.
Yeah.
I got some of those at first too, John. They're strong. They're beautifully made. But if you look at them, they look like they're just really, really high class washers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't look like they're deburred and everything like that. But I think that the corner radius is still a little tight. So.
Yeah.
Dennis is exactly right.
Yeah.
As usual.
Well, he made a
Accidents happen.
mistake once.
Okay. Here we go.
By the way, I got that Finn's 40G 80 pound stuff.
Got there. Okay.
Let's see.
There you go.
Looks good.
That looks good.
Nice and businesslike.
You got that Lenny loop on there.
Yeah.
How did
Lark
you get
said
the Lenny loop
not-
on there after you
That's
got
it.
that?
It's a Lark said not, but I like calling them Lenny loops since
Yeah.
he's the one that put us on to all of this in the first place. So
Yeah.
and oh crap, I tried to make a how-to, some still pictures and stuff like that. Oh crap, I don't know if I have them on this PC or not.
John, were you asking how to attach the Lenny loop?
Yeah, when you tie your knot, now you got this loop there. You got to make a large head, which means you got to put it through and then pull the other part through, and you got to pull all that line through.
Just take your loop, pull your line up through the loop. So it's just through the loop. Now just take and lay the loop in the line over this and pull it through. I'll get something and make one up.
I wondered if you could something like that, but I couldn't visualize it up here.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. Just put the loop, put your line through the loop, then take that and bend it over and pull the steel, then through the loop in the string the other way. And it's just, I'll make something up and show you, or somebody, one of us can. Let me see if I've got something.
Yeah, I
Alright.
can, John, I'll send you something. Trying to
It's
think.
just down and dirty. It's easy. I
Yeah,
figured it out. I know you can.
Yeah, I probably could once I sat down there to play with it.
Yeah.
I'm going off all these mental images because I haven't done it yet.
Well, I've been over here playing with my mental blocks all day, so.
Trouble is, when I start playing the metal blocks, I get them all over the floor and I lose one or two.
That's pretty good. Oh, I'll have to
Do you
remember
have
that
to
one.
pre-stretch? Do you have to pre-stretch those lines at all? Or do they have any stretch?
They have a little bit. They have a little bit. And we the first time I used them, I busted one, and I thought it was because I had, well, anyway, when you go to use it, the first time you use them, make them up the same length. It's pretty easy to do as long as you put a mark on it with a magic marker, and you keep that mark on the end. All you gotta do is make your line 18 inches longer than you mean for it to be. Then put 12 inches of it over, fold it over. So now your mark is not, you got 6 inches on this side of your mark and 6 inches on this side of your mark. Take your line and fold it at the mark. Leave your mark on the end. Now do your figure 8 knot with this and put that, keep that mark as the end. And when you pull it through, it can't help but be where it's supposed to be.
Right, I got you. Right.
Then you do the other end the same way. Now take your 2 lines and flip them together. Put that end on something stable. No, I tied mine to my boat. I mean, got out in the yard and put a fishing scale on it. And the first time I pulled it, I pulled the full amount of like I had 100-pound test. I tried to pull it 100 pounds. Well, guess what, folks? You don't have to pull it that. 50 pounds
No,
is plenty.
exactly.
50 pounds, all you got to pull it. And at 50 pounds, it did not break. At 100 pounds, I broke one. And when I examined the knot, I had a friend examine it. When I tied my knot, I had not done it right. And I let one of the 4 strands of thread get under the other 3, and that's where it cut. But, okay, be careful tying your loop and be sure and wet it and pull it right and do all the things you do to tie a good knot. But you only pull it to 50% of the pull strength of the line because you got 2 lines. Each only have half of it. So pull half of that, hold it for 1 minute. That's what I did.
Yeah.
And if it holds for 1 minute, let it off. You'll find the lines have stretched. I did 65 foot because that's what I was told I needed. I did 65 foot and it stretched almost 2 inches. Almost. Now, when I measured them again later, they had drawn back up some, and they have not stretched again, and they have not drawn up anymore. However, that's what I'm flying on, 100-pound test, yellow spectral line, and it works fine. But don't try to pull it to the full stretch because that's nuts. That was, I don't know what the heck I was thinking about. But they work great. And as Dennis and others have said, just expect your plane to fly with outboard wingtip down the first flight till you take some weight out because it's a different animal. But they sure go through. When you're going to be amazed when you do overheads and stuff up above 45 degrees that where you're used to there being slack line behind your plane, it's not there. It's not there, and you've got tension right now. When you go to do something, it's much more sensitive than it has been, and it's wild. It'll throw you there for a while. You're sitting there wondering, what happened? What have I done different? You know, so I did something stupid. I went to a left-handed prop or a pusher prop. I went to spectral lines, and I did something. I went to a hard point Smith Brothers handle all at the same time, and I couldn't figure out what in the world I'd done. I said, this is a different world. Why is everybody not doing this? Then I realized it's the spectral lines. The hard point handle made a difference. The prop made a difference, but those lines made a big difference.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy the lines. And you don't have to worry about if somebody steps on them, they don't kink and break. You just pull
Ever.
them back, check them, and they're ready to go again. Because we've got one guy, honest to goodness, you put your lines out in the grass. I don't care that they're yellow and they're laying on top of green grass or black asphalt. He will walk over them every time.
I do it deliberately as a demonstration at our field. I walk right down the lines.
Yeah, but this guy
I
wears
did
combat
that
boots.
at Brodak. I walked right down Lenny's lines. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. I don't mind. I walk down them every day just for laughs and giggles. I just walk down them. It doesn't hurt them a bit. They're fine.
I got a
It
buddy
makes
that
them
leaves
dirty.
I got a buddy that leaves his spectral lines, and his handle, he uses a plastic handle now, I will say that. But he leaves his lines hanging out on the fence in his backyard. I'm not
I've heard
kidding.
that.
He leaves them hanging on the fence in the backyard. He brings his plane out, he gets his lines out, hooks them up, pulls his handle out, sets it out, fills the plane up, and flies in his backyard.
Yeah, he doesn't have to reel it up. Good for him.
Wow, that's
I
nice.
said, "You're nuts." He said, "I don't fly airplanes like what you fly. If I crash one of mine, it's not gonna break my heart."
Well, the last I heard,
But he said-
I don't remember the man's name, but he had like the same set of lines he had. They were like 2 or 3 years old, right? And they're spending all their time on the fence. Yeah,
He swears they're 2 years. He swears they're 2 years old. Or last time I talked to him, he swore to me they were 2 years old, and he's never had a failure.
It's awesome.
Let me let
He said,
Stuart
I'm
in.
gonna, he said, I'm gonna fly them till they
Trying to
break.
get in.
Well, I got a
ahead.
different subject. If you want, once you're done with this, the line
Go
thing.
ahead.
Do you want to go ahead? Okay. Tongue mufflers. Where do you guys buy tongue mufflers? I got a couple. Brodak. Okay. I got a couple here.
There's also a guy on eBay, Scheiderman, or I think his name is Bob Brooks out in Florida. He has a lot of tongue mufflers too.
Yeah, those are
This
good little
one-
mufflers.
This one's Jim Lee's.
Oh, I bought
Oh, okay.
Jim Lee's before
This
too.
one's the RSM or the guy in California.
Yeah.
RSA. Yeah.
Big difference in weight. Lee's is 13.1 grams. This one's 6.97 grams. I just wondered, you said, or what were the different places you buy them? I just want to have it as a reference.
I bought mine at Brodak, but there are times, don't laugh too hard at that heavier one. There are times you need a little nose weight.
Right.
And that works great.
Yeah, and I thought of that too. I was just looking at different things, and I had these just come in, so I was just wondering what everybody else was using or where they were buying them. So,
Stuart,
yeah,
and anybody else out there on our site on Control Line Flying, the Facebook site, there's a gentleman named Stan Frady who he's been making tongue mufflers here, just kind of farting around with them for a few months. I guess Stan got himself a CNC machine and decided he was going to make control line mufflers. And he is offering tongue mufflers he's coming out with new stuff all the time. He's doing like the old McCoys, the old Foxes. He just started doing the LA 46s, I believe. I think maybe he made some Enya tongue mufflers, as options for stuff that didn't have lugs on it.
Is he selling those on eBay? There's a lot of those, what you just mentioned, on eBay.
I don't know if Stan has an eBay site or not. I just know he's been doing a lot of marketing on our Facebook page and showing people what he's making. And I think he's getting about $30, $25 for a tongue muffler. That includes shipping in the continental US. Stan Frady, Frady, and you've got to be, the only way I know to find him is on the Control Line Flying Facebook site. That's where he's a member of our group and he's posting his stuff there. I don't believe I have seen him offer any of his things on StuntHangar. I don't know if he's a member there, but I haven't seen him. I'm sure if he was, he'd be posting them for sale there. And he may or may not have an eBay site. I'm not sure. And I cannot attest to how good they work, or he's put weights on them. He says how much they weigh and stuff like that. But he's out there, starting a little cottage industry for tongue mufflers. So you know, there's another option for you.
Yeah, it's
Right.
always good to have
Let
that.
Jim Hoffman in. He has his hand up. Go ahead, Jim.
Mike, I see that fella Frady marketing the heck out of his stuff. Does anyone have any experience dealing with him or his equipment?
I have not personally used one of his tongue mufflers, but we have had zero complaints about anybody. Because obviously, if he was selling something and people weren't getting them, or you know, it was bad customer service, they would complain to us about it. We've had zero complaints about him. So,
His name on eBay is Stanley F770. That
oh,
must
there
be
you
him.
go. Then he's on eBay too. Thank you, Mark.
He's got a lot of them.
And
A couple of comments from the chat box. Brent Williams says, "Hi guys, hey Brent," and Craig Biswick says Jim Lee has the cheapest and best tongue mufflers. And then Todd Stimson said, "You can message Stan directly on Facebook to buy. I got one for an LA 46."
There you go. And again, if he was if he wasn't coming through, eBay would shut him down anyway. So that's a good sign. If he's got an eBay account and he's selling there, he must be, you know, legit, so to speak. As far as
I have another comment from Greg Biswick. He says Stan Frady, I guess, on Facebook sells them, but they're $40 versus $22. And then Todd says, once I paid Stan, and 4 days later I got my muffler. So that's pretty darn quick. And we're all caught up.
are where do you get tongue mufflers for $22 now? Or is that what they cost on?
He was I think that's
Brodax?
I think that's Jim Lee.
Oh, Jim Lee. Okay, yeah. Well, Jim's got great stuff. I got a few of his.
But
But
sounds good too.
always good to have another guy out there willing to make stuff for the control line community. You know, you can't.
Yeah, I'm tickled to hear that there's one that work on a McCoy that will work on a McCoy. Because the two that I've tried, I think I made one and a friend of mine made one for me, and the motor would not run on it. The piston overheats and.
Well, Phil, I don't know if the stuff works. Like I said, all I said is he's making them.
Oh, I know, but
he's making them and they look right, but I don't, you know, you'd have to get one and see if it works on your particular application. I have no clue there.
I think I'm through with mufflers for a while anyway.
I've got a McCoy Lightning Bolt 40 that I happened to get from Tom Lay about 6 months before he left. And that will handle a muffler.
Wow. Yeah, he hardened the piston.
He hardens the piston. Look at there, there's the old Dubro extension.
Yeah, that's what I do is I take Dubro extension stock and I cut my own mufflers if I need an inch or an inch and a quarter, and I drill as many or as few holes as I want. And then what I do is I drill and tap the end with a piece of 1/8 inch plate. I just JB weld it on there and then put my 2 bolts in and with my washers, and bingo bango, I've got myself a muffler. And then tap the other end for whatever width motor within reason, whatever will fit with this stock.
Yeah.
Seems to work pretty good for me.
I got a message from Jim. Jim, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it, Jim. Have a nice evening.
Yeah, you take care, Jim.
Hey, Charles.
Yeah.
Can I share something with you guys that
It should be
happened over my, it's not control line, but I think you guys will get a kick out of it. We had, am I sharing? Can you see?
Yeah.
Be able to share. Let me see.
Oh, I seen that. Yep.
Okay, so right outside my subdivision, there's some farm fields out there. And today I was treated by a little mini air show from this guy. That's my motorcycle running in the background.
Oh, wow. Oh, very cool.
That's awesome.
No, he's not mine.
Very cool, Mike.
Very nice.
I saw him buzzing around, and I jumped on my motorcycle and like ran across the road and tried to get a good vantage point on the hill. It's pretty cool, man. He made about 10 passes over there. I'm sure I sucked up a bunch of pesticide that I probably shouldn't be breathing, but anyway, it was kind of neat to see the air tractor or ag cat, whatever. It's a turbine engine.
Ag-Cat.
Yeah, ag cat. We have the RC version of that. They call it an air tractor, but same color, yellow and blue, and the
Very
turbine
cool.
engine PT6. Pretty neat. Nice air show in the backyard.
Yeah, just call Monsanto, Mike.
Mm.
I gotta go. See you guys.
All right, Stuart. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Monsanto. That's funny. I can join the lawsuit with everybody else.
Yes, you got it. Good.
All right.
Anybody
Uh,
fly any ringmasters this weekend?
Man, a
Mark
Hooli,
did.
a Hooli would have been a favorable thing. We had some serious wind this weekend and rain. And no, we didn't masters at all. All of us, the 6 of us that I know of, were planning to get together and fly all day Saturday, and nobody put up a flight.
We had 35 gusting to 44. We flew a pile.
Very
Yeah.
good.
It was,
Well, I had
it
a
was-
guy with me, Keith Miller. He flew his ringmaster a couple times.
Good for him. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up, Len, because I wanted to mention something. I saw
Okay.
Ivan posted on our control line site. He did something pretty cool. Ivan and Pat McKenzie from Ontario. They flew the Ringmaster Roundup on 2 different countries yesterday.
Take care, Mark.
They
Hi,
came
Mark
over.
Price. Thank you. Sorry, he was just saying he has to go work on his SV11.
That's fine. They came over to Detroit and flew, and then they went back to Canada and flew in the same day.
Oh,
They
cool.
flew Ringmasters in 2 countries.
Now that's cool.
So that was
really
that was
cool.
pretty neat. We had the full intention of going down to Huntsville and flying with Ty Marcucci and John Rist and those guys down at the North Alabama Control Line Association. But we opted for flying combat yesterday, so that's what we did. We didn't pull any Ringmasters out.
Now, we're hoping to make up for it this weekend. We got a bunch of guys coming in from out of town and other cities, I should say, and joining us at Hobby Park to have a real Ringmaster Day.
Yeah, because there's makeup day for next weekend. You can
Yeah.
still fly
Yeah.
next week if you didn't get any in.
Yeah, they're talking about, I understand, well, Mark's already left, but I understand the guys in Charlotte are talking about Huntersville, are talking about having a big day down there this weekend too, but we've got
Will,
coming in, visitors coming in
Will already
for
said-
instance. Do I?
Will said they're flying at Huntersville this weekend because the weather was crap for them this weekend.
Yeah, it was, the wind was bad, but the rain was coming in sideways. I mean, it almost hurt to be out in it. It was blowing so hard. But I don't know whether I'm going to stay here and fly or go. I'd really love to go down and fly with William and do the help with the final preparations for the contest next weekend. But I don't know. May try to do both. Fly a few times at Huntersville and Winston, and then run to Huntersville.
Are you going to be at the contest, Phil?
Oh yeah, I'll be there. I don't know if I'll be flying. I'll let you know later. This stuff they got me on, I'm fine, and I spin around about 3 times, and you'd think I was been out on a nightly drunk or something.
Where you live at?
Huh?
Where do you live at?
I live in Midway, halfway between Winston-Salem and Lexington, North Carolina.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I'm in Charlotte now. My base is Charlotte. I fly out of Charlotte, so I'm here all the time.
Oh, cool.
James, are you going to be there over the weekend of the 15th?
No, I'm going to be working. I'll be flying. You know.
Okay, because that's the Huntersville contest, combat, stunt, and carrier.
I know. I got a trip. I'll be flying right.
Shucks.
Yeah.
I'm working on speed limits right now for Huntersville. We're just bringing a bunch of garbage. We're not going to bring any of our new stuff out there. Trying to deplete the pile. You know, the stuff that's still flyable, but not the best.
Flying combat doesn't take long. I promise you.
Yeah.
Dennis, you have a comment, Dennis, or a question?
Oh, I don't know, kind of maybe late to the party here. Who was it who was asking about how we tied the rings on the loops?
John
I've got a little pictorial here if you want to walk through that.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I'll look
wait
at
for
John Miller was the one.
I think it was
John
John.
Miller was the one wanted to see it, but
And he stepped aside. He'll be back hopefully shortly.
All right,
Hey,
you want to
Charles.
wait for John to come? Let's wait for John to get back then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Charles,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take the dog to
Okay,
the doctor
Jim. Thanks for
morning,
coming
so I
in.
gotta go. So see
All
you
right.
guys maybe Friday. Okay.
Oh, fantastic.
sounds good. You
Good to
take
see
care
you
of yourself.
again, Jim.
All right.
Good to see
All right.
you.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Bye.
Good to see you,
Bye,
Jim.
everybody. Bye.
Hey, Lynn, have you gone flying at the bean field?
Yeah, like I say, we flew Ringmasters on Saturday. And then on Sunday, I drove down toward Toronto to fly Ringmasters with a buddy of mine. So I flew Sunday and then drove all the way back to the bean field on Sunday and flew 3 more flights at dinner time just to top it all off.
Nice.
I ended up
Dedicated man there.
I flew, let's see now, I flew 15 flights in Burlington on Sunday and then came back to the bean field. So it was a 3-hour drive to his place, a 3-hour drive back, and then flew 3 more flights when I got back. They were still flying Ringmasters at the bean field when I got back.
Holy
Wow.
cow.
They've been
That's
going
fun.
all day.
That's a bunch of flying. That's really good. So did Naomi fly also?
Most definitely. She flew both. She worked both days and then went flying after work both days.
Wow.
Tough lady.
Naomi
Hey,
and
Lenny.
I, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. Finish with Naomi. Go ahead.
Naomi and I and one other gentleman have now been flying Ringmasters on Ringmaster weekend for 13 straight years.
Wow. That's fantastic.
So that's our favorite weekend and we don't miss it for anything. It doesn't matter how windy it is. It doesn't matter if it rains, snows. We've done it in snow. We've done it in everything.
I've had my
We
Ringmaster.
always fly Ringmasters.
I've had my
Lynn, I just
Ringmaster on
realized
the wall, built and not covered for 10 years.
Lynn, I just realized something.
What's
You're
that?
tougher than I am.
No, I'm just crazy.
Well, Len, you know Ron Colombo, right?
Yes.
You know Ronnie and
Yeah.
James, I think knows Ronnie.
Yeah.
You know Ronnie. I gave him a Ringmaster 2 years ago because he was asking for one. He's like, you got a Ringmaster I could have? And I actually had a really nice one that I built and did silk and dope because I tried to fly old time at Brodax with it one year. It was like 26 ounces, really nice with a 25 on it.
Very nice.
Anyway, I was like, all right, I'm not going to do old time. So I gave it to Ronnie so he could do Ringmaster. And he's flown it the last 2 years. Well, I talked to him last night. What he did this year.
Throttled it. I heard.
No, he put a bladder on it.
Oh my goodness.
And he figured out how to get like 8 laps out of it, right, to be legal. Because it's, what is it? You got to do 7 laps for it to be a legal flight, or is it 6? I'm not
I
sure.
think it's 5 laps.
Is it 5? Okay,
5
so he
laps.
figured out how much fuel for 8 laps. Ron Colombo did 40 Ringmaster flights at Rouge Park
Good for him. That's
with,
awesome.
with an IC engine, with an
That's
IC,
awesome.
not
Good
cheap,
for
With a
him.
bladder. Oh my.
with a bladder.
God.
He did 40 flights, and he said he started his engine every time and
That's
walked
right.
out the
And
handle.
that's what we do too. We start our engines every time.
But he told me 40. He said, "Well, I really wanted to get 65 because that's how old I am. I wanted to do one for every year.
There's a
But
lot of flights in it.
I got tuckered out. I couldn't do 65. And
Is that in one day he did that or in 2 days?
yeah, one day.
One day, okay.
Wow.
They did it on Saturday. Saturday at the Rouge. Yep.
See, we were generally getting 20 flights each per day, but we had a lot of people. So we were getting between 15 and 20 flights per person.
Right. Well, I know when we flew with the Alabama guys last year, John Rist had, I think it was like a 576, so the big Ringmaster, right? And he had an E setup on it with like a 6S battery, and he was able to take off and land, and he was getting like 9 flights per battery for the legal amount of lap. And he put in like 70 flights in one day.
Oh yeah,
You know,
easily.
because he had to throttle. He had to throttle and take off, do your 6 laps, land, take off, do your 6 laps, land. Yeah, some of these guys are taking this stuff way serious. And
Oh, they are. Like some of them have a
Big
throttle
number.
set up where they bring it in and land it. They don't even stop the motor. They just stop the airplane and go again.
yeah,
Oh. Mark Gerber has a comment or question.
Yeah, can I share my screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Here we are Saturday. Can you see that?
Oh yeah, very
right.
nice. Look at that. 3
Good
Wingmasters
stuff.
and 4
Four,
one in the
there's
air.
one in
Oh,
flight.
number 4 in the air.
So that's Jerry Higgins, the closest to the camera, and then the yellow and red one is mine.
Very nice.
Nice.
Blue and red one farthest away is Chris Brainerd's, but the interesting one is the one in the air, which is also Chris Brainerd's. It's got a 60-inch plus wingspan.
Wow.
There's an Evolution 52 on it, and it flies really, really well. He flew the whole
Really?
time pattern, and I would have given him a very high score.
Wow. Now, was his wife out there flying? I know she judged me at Brodax.
No, Linda didn't come.
Okay.
Just the 3 of us on Saturday morning, and they kept flying after I had to leave it around noon. And they kept
That's
on
awesome.
flying, and they were going to go back on Sunday. So
Where
I don't
is
know what
that
the
thing?
total
Explain
count
your
is.
Colorado?
surface. I'm looking at
That's the great
Mark?
fun of it.
Mark. Can you explain your surface out there? What is that?
That's the Geotex fabric that we use. That you nail it down. You see the little nails that hold
I
it
see
down.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Works great.
Yeah,
over
it's
grass.
it's a
Yeah,
lot less
neat.
expensive than trying to pour concrete or do blacktop. And
You
yeah.
bet.
A lot of RC clubs have that.
Yes,
Yeah,
they do.
well, we belong to the Arvada Associated Modelers, which is primarily an RC club, but they let us put up a control line circle here between the two
That's
radio
awesome.
control runways. So we have this nice facility here.
Yeah, you got a nice walkway out to the center of the circle, or you can.
That's beautiful.
And
Where is
no,
this?
no snags or anything.
It's west of Denver, about maybe 15 miles.
I kept thinking that looked like Colorado. The way
Oh,
the way the houses are back there and all.
That's
The only
beautiful.
bad thing is it's 50 miles from my house.
Yeah, I remember.
6,000-foot elevation.
Yeah, the last time I went to Denver, you still drove under the airport runway. So then I heard the next year, my brother says, "Oh, well, they moved the airport 25 miles out." And the last time I talked to my brother, he says, I'm coming by the runway on the way into town." "You coming by the runway?" He says, "The airport has been moved 25 miles." I said, "Yeah, I know, but I know y'all just got a new house." But he says, "Yeah, we're the other side of the airport now. They built all the way out to the airport. That's 25 miles. My heavens. I know there's a lot of people moving to Colorado right now. 2,000 people. I think they said 2,000 people a month, but my
Well,
word.
look at all those houses back there. Those have all been built within the last couple of years.
Wow.
Wow.
And
We're
you're only
worried about
1,000 feet high? I thought you were
6,000
5,000
feet.
6,000 feet. Now that makes sense.
Wow. Now, what motor and prop are you using on your Ringmaster?
On mine,
Yeah.
it's a Fox 35 with a 10.6 top flight.
Nice.
It doesn't fly very well. It's really heavy. I think it weighs 42 ounces.
Well, it needs
But I
to be
built
light
it
out
mainly
there at
for
6,000.
fun, long before the Ringmaster Flyathon started, or they started having Ringmaster events at VSC. So
Yeah.
maybe someday I'll try to build a light one that flies well.
If you ever find the plans to the Ringmaster Light, it has a molded leading edge. That one flies great. That's one I built, and it flies great.
That's the way I would do it. Yeah.
It sure beats the heck out of hollowing out that piece of lumber they gave you as leading edges.
Well, Joe Gilbert's not on tonight, but he can tell you all about how to make a light Ringmaster and make it fly really well.
You
Oh
bet.
yeah,
Yes, he
I
can.
tell you what, at Brodak 2 years ago, I studied Joe's Ringmaster. I said, "You have," and you have, yeah. He says, "You have a critical eye." I said, "Yeah, I've been a technician for a long time. You have to have one. You develop one or you go broke, one or the other." But yeah, Joe's got several tricks in that Ringmaster. But it's not all the tricks. Joe is just a heck of a stick. He's a heck of a pilot. But that's a pretty ringmaster in the air, and that's a 5.76 in the air.
That's a what?
Is that a big ringmaster in the air?
Yes, it is. I asked him what the wingspan was, and he didn't know. But I know it's more than 60 inches.
More than 60 inches. Wow, that's a big one.
It's
What motor's
huge.
on that thing?
He's got an Evolution 52, I believe.
Ooh, that's a big motor.
That
But
might
it
be one
flies
of,
really well. It's stable as can be and does all the maneuvers in the old time pattern.
might be one
Does
of
it have
Pat
flaps
King's-
or not?
What?
Does it have flaps or not?
No, no flaps.
Okay, so it's not a regular 576.
No, it's
Something
just
else.
an enlarged.
No, a regular 576 does not have flaps.
Okay,
576D has flaps. The Dixon
okay.
576.
okay.
Well, Pat King's made ringmasters from like 100 square inches to I think 1,500 square inches. So I
Yeah,
guess that's where my money would be. It's, one of them. So
we had one show up at Huntersville. I think it was 2 years ago. Mike was there. He saw it. Mike, remember the red, white, and blue one against the back fence that Sparky said, "My God, what they cover it with, a sheet?"
Live at Muncie, Indiana.
Oh,
2022 National. Here is Steve Wilk.
Thank you,
Right
Mike.
out there.
Sorry about that. I left that Facebook tab open and started playing videos.
No,
Yeah.
Apologize.
Anyway, they had a ringmaster at Huntersville 2 years ago. I'm wondering if you saw. The thing was, it had to be 70 inches, and it had a big motor on, like a 72 or something. Huge motor on the thing. But Sparky saw it and took pictures of it. He says, "My God, would they cover that thing with a bed sheet?" It was huge. I
Oh no, that's
Dan
I know the
Banjock.
one.
no, it's not Dan
No.
Banjock.
It's I know the guy you mean.
It's Len.
Yo, what's that guy's name? I've seen him at Brodax.
Yeah, he's at Brodak. He comes to King Orange. He showed up at Huntersville one year.
Can't think of the name.
It's Len. It's Len, just like you. I know him. I'm friends with him on Facebook. But he's got everything from the 010 Ringmaster up to
That big one.
the big one. And the big one the big one ain't the big one. He's got one that's 1,200 square inches.
Wow.
That's the big one
I've
that
seen
has
image.
that has he's got a 120 on that one. He's got 1,000 square inch one that's got like a 90 on it.
Good gracious.
Yeah, and he only flies beginner. He flies the beginner stump pattern.
That's the guy. Yeah, I know who you mean.
Yeah.
The one he had at Brodax years ago when I was there
Okay,
had
I'll
an
take that.
80 in it. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, had an 80 on it. He
Okay.
may have changed that motor out. I don't know.
Guys, I'm gonna have to run, take the dog out. He's
All right.
starting to
Hey,
get
thank you.
testy. But you guys have a great week. We'll see you
Thanks,
Friday
Phil.
night.
Thanks for coming in, Phil.
See you,
Yes,
Phil.
sir. Anytime. Be looking forward to seeing you Friday.
I have a question from the chat box. This guy has a top flight prop. I think he said it's. Anyways, he wants to know how long should you boil the blades for an old top flight prop?
To throw it in the garbage.
Throw it in the garbage. Yeah. Thank you, Len.
Yeah, old
The one I have is wood.
nylon is just, man, that thing's just an explosion waiting to happen. Do not
Put it on
fry it, do not boil it, do not do anything except use it maybe for stirring paint or something like
Or
that.
hang it on the wall.
Put it on a wall hanger and look at it.
That's exactly it. It is
Never,
just not
ever,
worth it.
ever use that prop. Not a good idea.
Oh, he said they did sling the blades on his ringmaster this weekend.
Oh,
And the guys told him to boil the props before flying. How long do I need to boil it? Okay. So he actually did lose some blades.
I'll bet he did.
I'm glad you didn't get hurt, Timothy.
Throw it out.
What's up, John Miller? You're saying goodbye?
No, John.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Did you get my voicemail today, John? I called you and left you a message.
Did you? No, I didn't get it. I'll check.
I need to talk to you about something.
Okay.
I was gonna wait till the after party, or give me a call tomorrow or in the next day or two. It's about
Did you leave
cat
your phone
files.
number? Did you leave your phone number on the voicemail?
I did. I
Okay.
did. I got a question about some CAD files for plans.
Oh, okay.
So just give me a shout at your earliest convenience, okay?
I'll do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anybody else?
Yeah,
Denny
Gary had a
wants,
question for you.
well,
John.
Dennis
Oh.
wanted to talk to him about that knot.
Oh,
I had some pictures of how I tied the rings into
Oh,
the
that's
loops.
right.
oh, I want to see that.
Yeah. All right, that come up?
Yep.
All
That's
right,
how you start, right?
that's it. So I've tied my my double loops there, and I got my Spro rings ready to go. And it's not a very good picture. That's what the ring looks like, but you can see it's a round cross section. It's got a little weld on it, and they do a really good job of smoothing that out so the weld doesn't come into play. And actually, it's pretty easy to miss the weld when you do everything else. So, okay, this is what I do. I take the loops and I run them through the ring. And I'm anal enough. I actually take the loops and I run one through the ring one way and one through the opposite direction.
Wow.
Okay. And my supposition there is that I can get the knots alternating in such a way that, you know, that they balance each other out. All right. Do you see that, John?
Yep.
All right. Next, I take a set of forceps and run them through the loops. You see the ring is still down there about where the loops are X'd.
Yep.
All right. Next, wiggle it all around until you can grab the ring with the forceps.
Okay. And then you just pull
All
it
right.
through.
Yeah.
Then you start bringing it in together. All right. It starts forming. And, oh my God, that's gross. Spit on it, get a nice juicy knot there, right?
All right.
Pull it tight. All right.
That's cool. I like the mess of the knot too.
Mhm.
It kind of balances out against the connected on the other side.
Yeah. Well, what I like, remember way back when we had a big discussion about how do we tie the loops real nice and close and tight and don't make them too long and everything like that. Everybody was
Yeah.
obsessing about that. What I like about this is by the time you're done with that, the loops just really come into alignment and stuff, and it's just a complete, total non-event. All right.
Yeah.
So
Very nice.
That's a good way to do it, Dennis.
And
I like that.
Yeah, they're very
yeah,
nice.
I'd say the biggest advantage that I can tell from this is that the line is small enough to fit through some scissors clips if you're connecting, you know, and everything like that. And the ring is larger in diameter. It'll still, if the scissors clip is really, you know, if it's not properly bent and everything like that, it
Could you
can still fit
quickly
through
run
some,
through it
but for
once?
the most part, it's going to be pretty hard for it to accidentally slip through the
Could you quickly run through it once more just to make sure I got it? Uh-oh, did we lose him?
all I had, but it's easy enough to do. And whatever. So
You're not gonna do it one more time for John? Dennis, he asked if you could do it one more time. You can go through it one more time.
I'm sorry, you wanted to do it one more time?
Yeah.
One
Sorry,
more-
John,
one
do it
more time.
One more time.
Baby, hit me one more time.
Yes.
That
So
was
good.
Britney.
So
That was
good, you gotta do
Britney.
it twice.
It was Britney Spears for anybody who didn't know.
Stick to flying combat.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You got your loops tied, you got your ring ready to go, and it's a Spro 3.5 size, like I was showing before. And that's what the ring looks like, close up. Okay, take the loops, feed them through the ring.
Alternate direction.
It isn't absolutely necessary that you go through opposite sides like this, but I found that it just gives me one of those warm fuzzies that I do that. It gives me the illusion of doing something important with it, but And I think the net, they do end up being like a opposite direction knot, which ought to be more stable or take less space or something like that. Set of forceps. Run it through the loops. And then use the forceps to grab the ring.
And just pull it through.
Yeah.
And then just start slowly pulling it through. I usually get it sort of organized like that. Then spit on it.
Ooh.
Nice and juicy. Yeah. And good to go.
Okay.
And I've actually started doing that. Originally I was doing that to lines that I'd already stretched and everything like that. Well, I did that in some cases because I didn't have them when I made the lines. But I've started making it like this, and it's like my last step before I've taken stretch the lines.
Yeah.
And I hook the clips right to that because that way I'm pulling on all of the knots in the system and cinching everything up at the same time. So
Very nice. And Mark Gerber has a question. Go ahead, Mark.
No, I got another picture to show on Ringmasters.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right,
I'm
John. I
outta
guess
here.
we got that taken care of, John.
Thank you so much, guys.
Are you
All right,
welcome,
have a good
John?
one,
Good to see
Dennis,
you.
wait, Dennis, are you leaving?
I'm not. I thought John was.
Oh, okay.
And let me welcome Howard Rush. Howard Rush, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Okay, am I going to stop sharing so Mark can take it?
Yeah, go ahead and stop
Yeah,
sharing.
so- while Mark's pulling up, I just want to tell you, Dennis, I got my refunds from both sources on the bad Power Pro, and I
Yeah.
ordered another
nice.
500-foot spool from 500-yard spool from Tackle Direct. They finally got some 65-pound white in, and that's going to be here in a day or two. But I'll definitely test it and see if it's good.
Yeah, I got some 80 pounds on the table right now. I just tied a knot or tied a loop tonight. I'm gonna be testing that probably tomorrow or the next day. I got some other things going on tomorrow, but
So, Mark, what planes, what Ringmasters do we have here? Do you know what they all are?
Yeah, somebody mentioned that this fellow had a collection of Ringmasters. This is another one. This is Al Heeger's fleet of Ringmasters. Al lives in Los Angeles, if you didn't know him. This is at VSC. I think it was about 4 years ago. And he has this whole block of Ringmasters from the little old 4.9 all the way up through the regular 35 size and the Ringmaster Imperial, and pretty cool. But the tragedy occurred just a few minutes after I took this picture. A dust devil came through the field, and it picked up all of these airplanes and trashed them, as well as some others.
Oh, that's terrible.
But it was a great collection. He's got them all painted the same paint scheme, and
So the one
just
on the
for the
bottom
exhibition
is an
event.
view with the kind of like the smoothie canopy. Which one's that? What model is that?
This one here?
Yeah.
No. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one. What's that one? Is that the Imperial or what?
I think that's
Super
the Imperial.
Ringmaster. No, it's a Super Ringmaster.
And then the one behind it,
This is
with
the
different
regular
canopy,
one.
that's a built up full fuselage. What kind of Ringmaster is that?
I think that's a twist master or something like that. Take a twister and you can make it look like a Ringmaster. I think Bob Reeves did something with that.
No, I mean the one that's
Right
not-
behind it is
Yeah.
the Ringmaster Junior Flash. That's the one with the swept fin. You mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
This one here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's
yeah.
And this is a junior Ringmaster. This is a regular Ringmaster, and this is this baby Ringmaster.
Okay. Very nice. Thank you. I see caffeine's in the house.
Hey,
Hey,
Captain.
guys. I found it's Len Bechtold is his name.
There you go.
I have his giant Ringmaster picture pulled up if anybody would like to see
Yeah, I'd
it.
like to see it. Sure.
Okay, let me
Yeah, I saw
get-
that at Brodex several times, I think. Show
share.
it to-
This one. Share. Where'd it go? That's not the one I want. Hang on, I'm gonna stop for a second. I lost it. Okay, there it is.
Uh-oh.
Maybe just click on that tab there.
Well, it's not that one. It's the other. It's being hidden. Why can't I find this? There we go. Okay.
There
to
it
be-
is. Wow, look at the size of that monster.
Had to
Wow.
be sneaky and do
Wow.
it. Okay. There. There.
How old is Sam there?
Well, 2018. So 40. Sam is 10 years old in that picture.
Okay. Wow.
He's 10 years old. So Len's holding a regular size ringmaster, and there's his. Now, this isn't his big one. This is the 1,000 square inch. This is not. This isn't the big one. He's got one that's 1,200 square inches.
Jesus, Murphy.
It's even bigger than this one. And the reason I know that is because the big one is signed by everybody. The giant one is actually signed by everyone.
Wow.
So I know that's not the same. He has one that's actually bigger than this.
Wow, it's amazing. I like
But-
that big ringmaster decal he has on there.
Imagine what the balsa's worth.
Well, he said it was like, imagine getting a kit. And then he said, imagine getting like 5 kits worth of balsa,
Oh,
I
man.
believe- Look how big
And
these are.
I'm pretty sure this was Pat Johnston, right? This is the Pat Johnston 1,000 square inch ringmaster
Wow.
that he sells.
Well, I don't know. It's a good
That is
question.
just massive.
Yeah. But Len flies the entire beginner pattern with that ringmaster.
Wow.
It's something to see.
How hard did that pull?
Quite a bit.
About the same as a baby.
Yeah. I mean, he's got both hands. He's got both hands. But at one of the contests he came to, like I said, he has pretty much every iteration of every ringmaster ever. If I looked harder, I could find. Actually, I did a video on it because he has one with a TD 010. So like 010. He's got an 020. He's got an 049. And then he gets into the junior, the 15, and then the regular,
Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
bigger. He has like 9 of them, but everything from something with a 7-inch wingspan up to that monster.
Wow. So I think he likes ringmasters.
I think he
No
does.
kidding.
Actually, I've never seen him with any other airplane except a ringmaster. I don't think he owns a different stunt plane other than a ringmaster.
I had a ringmaster.
You did.
I
Gary?
liked it. Yeah, I liked it.
There you go.
Don't have it no
Very
more,
nice.
but I had one.
Yeah, I have a couple ringmasters, but none of them have motors on them.
Hey James, you haven't been on in a little bit since the last time you were in a hotel room somewhere. Have you been watching it all the last few weeks? Or
I didn't. I browsed a couple of times, but no, we're on Disney World. We're on vacation.
you're on Disney? Well, I just since you're a combat guy, I want to tell you Samuel got his models from Roman about 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
We got a box of airplanes from Roman, 20 sets of lines, 4 handles, bunch of shutoffs, everything.
that guy's
And-
good. He builds good airplanes.
He does, and I'm glad to hear that he's safe in Kyiv and they're able to
Yeah,
still
yeah.
produce stuff for him. I just ordered about 70 props from him too last week as well.
Yeah,
So-
right. And I'm just about out. Finally, after years. So I need to do some ordering. But the problem is I just work too much, man. I'm always flying, so I need to find some downtime. And
How long
hopefully
till you
Friday
retire?
I'll have a Vector 40 built by Friday. Hopefully, we'll see. I got 4 days off.
Oh, you can do a Vector 40 in like 3 days, man. No problem.
We'll see.
No
know.
problem. I did I had an SV11 that I put a PA 65 in. I started on a Friday. I finished it on a Sunday. Now, granted, that was with no interruptions, the wife not bothering me, not having to leave the house. You know, it was like 4 hours Friday, 8 hours Saturday, 7 hours Sunday.
When you go for 4-day trips, come home, your hunting list grows by at least a couple days. So
Sure.
we'll have to see. Plus the electric, I don't know anything about it. I really don't. I'm trying to figure out how you're supposed to mount the motor on that airplane, and I got confused. So I'm like, I'm going to stop and I'm just going to wait till I get the instructions. And then
Well,
maybe
the
show me how to mount
guy to ask is sitting right there, man. He's the guy, man. He's the Brodak guy.
Well, look, I'll have questions, I'm sure. I was looking at it, I'm like, I figured I before I opened the box and got the motor, I'm like, oh man, this mount bolts on the back, and you just bolt that to the firewall in there somewhere, and boom, it works. And that's not really how it works. It's not. So I need to figure it out.
Mm.
The instruction book is in route there. So yeah.
Yeah, the instruction book just shows how to bolt everything in, but there's a lot of things you do before you get there. So
I will see when I get the instruction.
Send me some personal messages on StuntHangar, or send me your email address and stuff like that, and we'll just come or
Roger.
try to help you out with that. So
Roger. Yeah, I figure if I get the book, that's a good start. I mean, it won't be my first airplane I've ever built, so
yeah, well,
I
that's
can
it.
work my way through it.
I was really disappointed. They brought out this new Vector with a 2-piece wing and stuff like that, and they said, "Oh, we don't need a new instruction manual." I said, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, well, it'd be good. Just, I mean, I know how I would put it together, but it'd be nice to see what they intended to do with it. You know what I mean? Like to see if somebody had a plan. This is what they were going. This is how they would do it. And like I said, the electric stuff, I have no idea. It's a bunch of parts and a bunch of bags. I don't even know. I don't even know what any of it does right now, to be honest. And they didn't mention a charger in their list of things you should buy. So I had to go back and buy a charger, and I had to buy some hinges because they didn't have hinges. They didn't mention that.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was my fault, because I was, people were always asking, well, what kind of power system do I need? And of course, marching straight to that, well, you need a motor, ESC prop. And it never occurred to me that a lot of new electric flyers probably don't have a charger either. So I've started adding
no
that
charger.
in later on. Yeah.
No, that's cool. I ordered it.
The only thing I can remember from the Vector 40 ARF that we put together, and also the SV11 ARF, because they're built very similarly, the fuselage, the wing saddle, where you're going to glue the fuselage to the wing, there's not a whole bunch of material on the fuse, right? It's very thin. The fuselage is very thin on the top and the bottom. So we kind of sistered up some balsa on the inside of the fuselage to give more purchase to the wing when you put it in, because there's not a whole lot of material there for your epoxy joint. It's very thin on the fuselage sides, top and bottom. So if you marry something up to the fuselage size, kind of in the radius of the wing, top and bottom, just to give it a little bit more beef in there, I think everybody's doing that on the Vectors and the SV11s.
Yeah, I reinforced mine quite a bit.
Hold on. Who went first? Mark, I think.
I reinforced my SV11 quite a bit. Just extra balsa all around the wing and extra 16th inch plywood in the nose, because I got a Super Tiger 60 up there banging away. So far, so good.
Very good.
Guys,
Yeah.
I got an early flight tomorrow morning.
All right. Hey, thanks for coming in. We're going to end the live stream anyhow. Hey, thank you everybody for coming in. I appreciate it. And really good show. Lots of good topics we talked about. Had some chat on the chat box, and hopefully you have a chance to go out there, do some flying this week, or go in your shop and come back and tell us all about it Friday. So until then, tight winds and fair winds and tight lines.
Tight lines.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. So good night, everybody. See you.